Hi, Gomez here from the LAN Up channel, and today we're going to be talking about the patch notes of patch 1.6. There's loads of things going on, so let's get into it. So a lot to talk about with patch notes 1.6. Let's get into it. Obviously the main thing is Spirit Blossom, the new event which is going to be happening, the festival. It goes into a lot of the details there. That it runs from the 22nd of July to the 19th of August. There's going to be like things in terms of different rewards for epic quests and whatnot. There's a whole actual thing that shows all the different rewards you can get, and there's actually, if you buy the Premier Pass, then there's more rewards and things like that. You don't have to, because there are free rewards. Most of the free rewards are shards, but there is, I think, a moat card back, a few wild cards, and maybe a Guardian, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But there's a lot more in the Premier Pack, but I said that's if you want to go for that. You don't have to, but it's an option. Obviously there's loads of different things you can get if you do the epic quests and whatnot. There's also a new lab, Bestow. So Bestow, yeah, again, it's going to be giving you pre-constructed decks, a lot like the lab that's going on. Well, I say the lab that's going on at the moment. You do actually get to choose the champions. There's going to be extra health and units pass on stats. So when a unit dies, it puts those stats into a card in your hand, and then they can be used, like I said, they're buffed up and can be used later. I'm going to say that most likely Overwhelm and Elusive gonna be seen a lot in that, mostly Overwhelmed, just because you know you're going to be getting that damage in, because Elusives obviously in this have been nerfed a little bit. We will get onto that, but yeah, so it's going to be an interesting festival. It's the first kind of event that they've done in Legends of Runeterra, so I'm really quite excited to see how it goes and how the rewards and that go with it. So yeah, as you can see, it's got the different rewards and the fact that you can earn blossoms to be able to unlock some things with the petals. But yeah, and then Premier, you get some extra things. So there are still things that you can get if you get the petals for them. But obviously, it's just whether or not you want to pay that extra money just to get them without having to worry. So there is a lot of new Guardians, emotes, and all. So the free stuff is obviously still shards and cards, as well as a card back and an emote. I think one of the Guardians for free? Is it just the emotes? Maybe the Guardians you do actually have to put some petals in. But yeah. Or completing the quests, I think, also does it as well. So those are the things which are currently happening at this moment in time. All the links to this, which is the patch note, and this link of telling you everything that's going on with the Spirit of Blossom event, which are going to be in the description down below. And now we actually get to the actual changes, the things that are going on. So obviously, a change that people have been going on for a very long time. Heimerdinger. People have wanted that man to be changed for unbelievably long time in terms of his free mana spell creation. So the elusive that he used to create, they've now kind of shuffled some of his bots along. So what would have been the 4-cost one, the fearsome one, is now the free, which is the free cost, and the 4-cost Overwhelm has gone down. The 6-cost, Overwhelm has been moved into the 4-cost, with the elusive moving into the 6-cost. So you have to basically make 6-cost spells in order to get that. It has gone up from 3 damage to 6 damage because you're spending 6 mana in order to make the spell. There's not as many 6 mana spells, and it still only has the 1 health, so it can be countered in different ways. It's going to be harder for them to get them on board. There's still going to be the fearsome, so you're probably going to see a number of fearsome minions on the board, but I guess that's easier to deal with because there are still things you can put in the way of that. They do need to be free power, so let's see how that goes. But yeah, and you're going to see a few more Overwhelms, I guess, as well. Yeah, basically this has been a big thing that people have been wanting changed. Whether or not this means that you're not going to see him played as much, he's definitely not going to be as efficient with those cards not being elusive anymore, because obviously you knew there was the consistency of that damage going in, whereas now you do have to play, but it's become fairer, whereas it used to be a lot more kind of aggressive, and he just does like flash, gets another 3-cost minion, flash, like 2 flashes in a row, then like with get excited or something thrown in there as well. It's more balanced basically now. That elusive is not laying down with 3-1 and just like loads of them. I said so. Elusive is now the 6-cost spell, and obviously that's harder to get. Not much else has really changed. It's just his bots that have been shuffled around. Still, his level up is still the same, and still creates all the other bots the same. It's just these bots that have swapped around places. So the 3-cost, 4-cost, and 6-cost have all been jerried, which is like a kind of like moved around, and their stats have been changed to make it as like in line with the rest. Right, Braum is back here again. He got changed in 1.4 to increase his damage from 0 to 1, and to give him the Mighty Poro. He still gets the Mighty Poro from first surviving damage, so that buff still stays on him, but they've got rid of the buff of the damage because apparently he's been picking off too many smaller minions easily enough, because with the regeneration, he's just been going on there, grabbing small minions, taking them out, and that's so. And as you know, Bald Eagle, so Braum and Nivea have been on the ladder. Like, it's been one of the best decks, so understandable. It needed to have a little bit of a tweak, so they've got rid of that, and also his level 2 has gone down from 2 power to 1 power. All in all, like, he's still going to see play. I think that he's still a really good champion. He's not going to be obviously taking out as many minions now, but he still does create the Poro, and I can still see him being played with like Vlad or things like that. He's actually still the regeneration and whatnot, so him just being able to park himself in front of somebody, plus if you have another Braum in hand to be able to give him, like, get him damaged and then give him +3/+3. There's so many cards, like, there's so many cards which do buff that I still think he's going to see play. I don't see a problem with that. Speaking of Bald Eagle, the Anivia egg is taking a nerf, going down from 2 health to 1 health, just to make it a little bit more easier to pick off, because obviously quite a lot of removal. It's easier to do 1 damage obviously than it is 2. There are obviously things which do that damage, but because Anivia has been like used so much with Bald Eagle and just bringing it back and just getting loads of Anivias on the board, when there's like loads of eggs, it's harder to deal with them. So at least now, if they do have loads of eggs, like, you know, one Withering Whale or just anything that does 1 damage can now take them out. So it just makes it so that it's easier to deal with, which, you know, right now obviously that is one of the most powerful decks. So both of them took a hit, Braum and Anivia, but I do think that this just makes it a little bit more fair. Because that's what it is all about. It's just trying to make things as fair as possible, so that, you know, nothing stands out as being too powerful. You still obviously want powerful cards in there, but nothing stands out as being too much. Which Relentless Pursuit is going from a fast spell to a slow spell, just to make it a bit more fairer, because obviously basically what people were doing was when they were being attacked, or when they had with its spells and whatnot coming at them, they could throw this out with it. So when they were getting attacked, they could throw it out, so that when it then went to their turn, they could immediately attack forward. And so if you had defended and taken out a bunch of stuff, or if well, yeah, so if you had defended and taken out a bunch of their stuff but still had minions with good health, then you could instantly, the exact turn after, just attack forward immediately. So it's just made that a bit more fairer, so that it gives them the chance to. So if it's a slow spell, they have to play it, and then it gives you a turn to try and come up with something, maybe put something else on the board. It means that you've got to be a little bit more kind of tactical when you're dealing with a deck which you believe is going to have rally. So, like, you know, like Lucian, Lucian, Misfortune decks, which are currently like the main ones that you see at this moment in time. So it just means you need to be it just means you just need to be a little bit more careful with seeing their mana and be like, okay, right, do I need to keep something back so that I can play a minion, or try and like keep myself so that I'm not going to be just like immediately attacked on afterwards. So it does make it just that little bit more, slows it down, that bit more fairer to be able to do it, rather than it just being instantly you do something and then they immediately throw in the Relentless Pursuit to be able just to attack directly afterwards. So yeah, no, I think this is actually quite a fair thing. I don't think that it will see less play because of it, because it's not exactly a reactive spell in terms of, if it's nothing like Willow or deny or something which is trying to stop something from on the board at this moment in time. It's just to rally yourself back up again. So I still think that it will see play. Obviously, it's not going to be as fast in terms of, so once you attack, they put that so they can immediately attack. So it's not going to see that, but it still will see play because most of those decks just want a rally to be able to smash into you. So I don't think it's going to change that much. It just means it's a slower process that gives you a chance to do something to react, which most of the time those decks actually make sure that you've used up your mana before using the rally so that you can't put anything in the way. So if you're using the deck smartly enough, then that change actually makes, like, you're using it like a wisely enough, should I say, that won't make any difference. So the Arena Bookie, a card which has not actually seen that much play at all. I guess that they're trying to make it so it can be more used. Basically, they've changed it so its cost has gone down from 3 to 2 and its health has gone up from 1 to 2. It discards, at the start of the round, it discards your lowest to draw. So it's a draw mechanic for Nexus, which, to be fair, Nexus doesn't have that much draw, so I guess it gives it an option. It does mean getting rid of one of your cards, though, is going to be the thing. And obviously, I guess the reason why it wasn't used too much is because a lot of the low cards in Nexus were your damage dealing cards, so there's nothing you really want to get rid of. So I can understand why it's not really seen play. Whether or not this means it still will see play, I don't know. It just gives them a little bit of draw. Maybe potentially this could be used in like a Jinx deck in some way because it's getting rid of cards. It is still drawing up, but maybe like you're finding something which can then, like a rummage or something, to get rid of more cards. So whether or not it's actually going to be used or not, I don't know, but they've changed it, given it a kind of like little, which is a buff in terms of its cost and health. So let's see what happens with that. Basilisk Rider, obviously this one needed to take a little bit, he needed to be put in the corner and calm down a little bit because he was seeing a lot of play. His power has just gone down from 5 to 4. He's still, so if you do have the Alliance, he still goes up to 5 damage rather than 6 damage with that 3 health. Correction, 4 health, obviously, because it goes up, which it goes up down, so it'd be a 5/4. I still think you'll see play in the aggressive decks because it's still, it's 1 damage less. So I still think he's going to see that, which is like a play, but it's obviously just doing that one little less bit of damage, so it's a little bit more fairer. So yeah, that's which I don't see there being very much problem with this at all. He will still be used. These are the hits which are going to be more interesting to see what's going to happen with Nexus in terms of, so the Disciple now, instead of doing 2 damage when it survives, it now only does 1 damage. This has been a change which has been needed for a very long time. There is so many things that buff and do damage to this card, like in terms of buff up the health to be able to throw more damage in. It's doing 2 damage every single time, which it only needs to land 10 hits in order to do 20 damage. And so that is obviously, we're talking a lot of damage. We're talking a lot of things in order to do that, but all it needs is 10 hits to get it to full maximum Nexus damage. And just any percentage of that, the rest of the things can do damage, obviously, like the Grenadier and whatnot. So yeah, it's been a change which is needed for a very long time. It's made the meta very aggressive, so this should hopefully calm things down a little bit. It still does 1 damage and can still be used in Vlad decks and whatnot, and I still think it will see play. It's just not going to do as much consistent damage, so it gives your opponent time to find those heals, to find solutions to the problems which you are forcing them to deal with. So, you know, I think this is a fair one. Some people will disagree with this, but I think this is going to make the meta go a little bit more slower and a lot more fairer. Along these lines as well, yet again, the Grenadier has just gone down from 2 health to so yeah, again, the Grenadier has just gone from his last breath dealing 2 damage to dealing 1 damage to the enemy Nexus. Yeah, again, just making it overall more fair so that they're just not just throwing so much damage at you. So this is hopefully cool things down a little bit, because right now it's been very aggressive, so cool things down a little bit. Flash is actually seeing a nerf going from 3 cost to 4 cost. Yeah, again, this is actually really fair so that it stops spam of these cards. Obviously with Heimerdinger, if you had 2 of these in hand, you just spam, and then you could get an additional 3 cost spell out to get the elusives out. Now it would be fearsome minions, but it's not going to be as easy as that because of the fact that, well, I say it would have been if it was still at 3 cost. Now it would be the overwhelm minion. but it's not as easy to get off because it doesn't just refill to be able to use it again. Like, being able to use itself again was devastating. So it still does the same things that it did before, it's just it costs one more, so it can't be like just thrown out again and again and again. It's now a little bit more fairer in terms of the fact that it now costs 4. So yeah, I think this is a fine change. I mean, I'm really happy with all the changes. I mean, please let me know in the comment section down below what you think, but I think the changes are really fair. These changes are a little bit interesting in terms of the fact that they weren't really problems, but they've decided to like mess around with them anyway. It's basically, so the card which used to just be to play me discard 1, he now to play him you discard, but he then draws 1 as well. His cost has gone up from 2 to 3. Nothing else has changed, but yeah, basically the fact that he now draws a card, so he costs that extra bit, but he draws a card. He's still discarding a card, then drawing. And this one, all they've done is change the last breath used to be draw a card, but now it is discard and then instantly draws 1. Which, to be fair, there's a lot of draw in this region anyway, with Rummage and Progress Day. Like Static Shock, there's so much draw already in this section that they just wanted to give it more. So it'll be, I'll be very interested to see what they do with this, because to be fair, in any card game, draw is amazing, because like obviously you're drawing more solutions and whatnot. So yeah, I'll be interested to see how these get played and utilized. But yeah, that's what I said. Like, it's a change that like wasn't really like needed, but they've decided to change it anyway. So we'll see how that changed up the meta. To be fair, meta's gonna be changed massively next month with a new region coming in. So all of these changes. So I'm saying all these things, but who knows what the hell is going to be happening next month when a whole new region comes in, and there's going to be different combinations, different things to find out from there. So Elusive's getting a little bit of a hit here from its power going down from 2 to 1, but to be fair, it was already drawing a card and it's become elusive. So for 3 costs, you're drawing a card and you're getting 1 damage in, most likely in on the enemy Nexus, unless they've got elusives themselves, which, let's face it, it's not really going to happen most of the time unless you're playing a counter deck. So yeah, I think this is a fair change, because you are still it's still a valuable card. Whether or not it's going to be an auto include free now is going to be the interesting thing, but it is still drawing card. So I think this change just makes it fairer, in my opinion. Fairer, you're going to be hearing that a lot today. Still Tempest going down in cost from 3 to 2. There's a lot of Ionia stun decks. Like I've been seeing them on the verge. They haven't obviously been seeing major play. This is going to be probably to bring them up in play, because like I guess that's like been the least used thing with the champion. So let's see whether or not this is actually going to make it a little bit more viable and playable. Obviously, the change in the cost. It's stunned an enemy minion, which is obviously meaning that they're not getting the attack in. So I think that we might see a surge of these decks coming out. Not like crazy, but like it could happen now with that. And obviously they've changed the champions one as well from 3 cost to 2. The River Shaper has gone up in health from 1 to 2, just so that he's not as easy to pick off, because let's face it, 1 health can be so easy to pick off. There's so much removal that does 1. That's why the Anivia egg going down to 1 health is quite a significant debuff, just because there are things that can take it out, and obviously when there was multiple of them, it's just now you can take out multiple. Drawing a spell, so yeah, but whether or not he's going to see play, he kind of he sees play here and there, so whether or not it's going to do a massive change, we'll find out. Willow Ionia is the big man change yet again, along with Heimerdinger. People have been wanting this change for a very long time. The cost going up from 4 to 5. Yeah, again, it's still a powerful card. It's just not going to be an auto include free anymore, which is what it was. But you're still going to see it being played. It's just the fact that like for 8 mana you used to be able just to use this twice. Now it will require 10 mana to use it twice. So it's just it's a nice thing to see, because it has been annoying a lot of people. You see all the memes, everything is always going on about this card, now it's ruining the game, and just how, like, you know, it's cancer and everything along those lines. But to be fair, I've never had a problem with the card. I just wanted them to change it to make it just to cost a little bit more, because it is actually massive value for money. So yeah, no, that's quite a good thing to see. Golden Narwhal and Hunting Fleet, yet again, like the change to Golden Narwhal doesn't really mean anything, let's face it. Nobody was going to play it. Nobody's probably ever going to play it, because the thing of it was, it's like, it was 3 cost, it's now gone down to 2 cost, but either way, all you were doing was playing it, and you would get that 1 bit of damage out, and then that was it, because it has vulnerable, so your enemy is just going to grab it and just deal with it as quickly as possible. So I never really I mean, maybe now that it's 2, it might see a little bit, but I highly doubt anyone's putting that in their deck. With all the other kind of like powerful things that there are, I don't really think most people are going to be putting it in there. It obviously gets affected by Hunting Fleet. People might now start playing Hunting Fleet a little bit more. Hunting Fleet did see a little bit of play, because I mean, admittedly, it was a 7/7 for 5. It's now a 6/6 for 4. So like I changed everything down by 1. So a 6/6 for 4 is still really good, and it can just deal with the golden narwhal again, like it used to. Like basically, people just play it, just deal with the golden narwhal, and then because they can just basically throw it in front of one of their minions and get a lot of damage out. So I don't think it's going to make any change to golden narwhal actually seeing play in terms of people putting that card in their deck, but I might be completely wrong with that, but honestly, I don't see that being a thing. This is more of a, that if anything makes more of a buff to Hunting Fleet in terms of the health of this going down to 3, so it's summoning a minion with less health, so you can just put it on one of your other smaller minions which do 3 damage and get that 6 damage in. So it's more of a buff to Hunting Fleet than it is to Golden Narwhal. That's, no one's choosing that. There's obviously the personalization things in terms of new boards, new guardians, everything that's all to do with the festival, so it's all exciting times. I think that's what would you like, all good times. Bundles coming out where you can just actually buy a bundle with Gangplank and Shizwani. So if you haven't, most of these bundles are actually quite good price. So if you want to put money, you don't have to put money in this. This game can be completely free to play if you want it to be. So you don't have to. They've also made quite a few changes to Expedition. But that just depends on whether or not you care about Expedition. But there are obviously, like, they've removed a few things, added a few things. Those changes are always going on. So yes, and just little tiny little tiny fixes, little bugs that are here and there. They've changed. So yeah, that's that's like the basis of this fix. So it's actually, all in all, I think this is some really good changes to slow down things, because let's face it, things have been very aggressive at this moment in time. So anything to slow down the meta. I'm behind, which I like all of these changes. But let me know what you think in the comments down below, because let's face it, some of you actually do still play these cards. Like, there's Heimerdinger decks, there's Bald Eagle. Some of you most likely play these decks and enjoy these decks. So, to be fair, like, I'm not saying I don't enjoy them. I enjoy playing all these things, and like, everyone's entitled to do whatever they want. Just when you see it continuously. But let me know what you think in the comment section down below, or if you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe if you enjoyed the content, and if you want to get more Legends of Runeterra content, I also stream on Mondays and Wednesdays. So links all down below, and also the Discord link if you want to join the Discord, so that you can talk some more Legends of Runeterra stuff. It's all happening if you want to get involved with it, but don't feel forced or anything. That's all I really have to say. All I will say is I think that we're going to see a lot of deep decks, because to be fair, deep has actually been doing really well at this moment in time, because it has actually been able to deal with Bald Eagle and a number of things. It's been the aggressive Nexus decks which have been taking it down, but obviously they've seen quite a few nerfs. Nothing's really happened to deep, so I think that we're going to see a surge of deep, because I've actually been climbing with deep, so this is actually going to make my climb easier now, because the Nexus decks have been my problem. So we'll see what happens, but I think that we might see a surge in deep. So that's my opinions on the matter. Yeah, I already said all the things about commenting, liking, subscribing, and the Twitch and the Discord. So it's up to you, whatever you want to do. So thank you all for watching. Until next time, bye! Very lucky. Let's hope that I can find... Oh! Oh! When you still find lethal from your opponent's deck, when they do everything they can, but you still use their own deck against them, it's such incredible force. See,